What's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony for Unapologetically Confused. I just had to get on here and talk real quick about something that I noticed. I haven't been doing this YouTube thing for long, and within some of my videos I've noticed some dislikes and some negative comments. And I guess the question is, besides all the negativity, what is it that you want to see, or what do you have a problem with seeing? I asked that because of this. The last video that I posted about the Leica Q2, whether I'll get rid of it or not, I stated in the beginning, yo, I don't have my normal setup. I had a video I wanted to get out because I knew I was getting rid of my equipment, so I wanted to put out the video while I still had the equipment in hand. At the time I was using a webcam and I was using the internal mic because I didn't bring my stuff with me. I was in Richmond, California. It was a real quick trip. I didn't feel like bringing everything with me, and I was using those two cameras that I could have recorded with to actually do the video itself. And there was people like, oh, you say you're a cinematographer, but you're using inboard microphones and all this and that. Well, cinematographer isn't audio. They can do audio, but cinematographer deals with the camera itself. The audio is done by someone else, for those of you who think you're super smart, for one. For two, like I stated, hey, webcam. I know the quality isn't good, but I want to get the content out there from somebody who actually uses, who's owned. Not one of these YouTubers that get a, let me go ahead and get a lens for a week or two and a camera for a week or two, and all of a sudden I'm an expert on Fuji or whatever. I've been shooting Fuji since 2017. That's at least 4 years of shooting Fuji. Like I said, X-T20, X-H1, X-T3, X-T4, X100V, multiple X100Vs, multiple X-T4s, multiple X-T3s, X-E4. So I have an idea about Fuji cameras, the lenses, the 56 1.2 compared to a 50 1.0, which I own. Like, I know the difference between the linear motors and the non-linear motors and how it sounds for video and how it is for autofocusing. So the information I'm putting out is based on, hey, the Leica Q2 for that video was an awesome camera, great sensor, great lens. But the fact that I have been working with Fuji for a while, I noticed that there was some creature comforts that I've become accustomed to from Fuji that I like, that I wish the Q2 had, and which was a turnoff for me because it didn't have it, especially for the price point. But for some people, oh, the music audio was bad. I said specifically the music audio was louder than I wanted it to be because I knew the quality from the microphone was not that great. So I upped the music quality, but I used something soft and smooth and soothing. That way it wouldn't be overbearing, but at the same time you could still hear me, but at the same time you couldn't hear the terrible audio that was coming from the laptop itself. But people still had a problem with that. And like, I watch plenty of YouTube videos. Like, I spend pretty much all day watching YouTube videos. Whether it's a production that's done by Gerald Undone, Peter McKinnon, Jason Vaughn, Manny Ortiz, Jared Polin, the list goes on, right? Camera Conspiracies, like all that. Whether it's great production, like they put a lot of work in it because they might have, for some of them, might have multiple people in their office to do it. One person recording while the other one's editing, one of making sure audio's good. Not everybody has that, for one. For two, a lot of y'all say those people are disingenuous, whether, hey, they're Sony fanboys or they're being paid by Canon or whatever, and they say, hey, Sony did send me this or Canon did send me this, and they felt a certain way about it. So, like, I get it, but at the same time, it's like some of y'all are just bashing just to be bashing, and I don't get it. Now, if the content is, hey, you don't know nothing you're talking about, you don't know nothing about photography, even though I went to photography school, okay. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I'll take it with a grain of salt. But if I'm explaining the difference between the two and why I like one over the other, and while the other one is still great, it just doesn't fit my needs, then why are you hating for? It's just my opinion. Just like you have an opinion about something. It's cool. We can have a difference of opinion. And I guess that's the problem, is we're missing that civil discourse. Like, I need you to be civil. That's the part of civil discourse. For you just to be negative, be a keyboard warrior or anything like that, yo, like, it's not needed. Like, especially stuff that you wouldn't say to somebody's face. I don't know why you would say it. Carrying it on, again, if you have a problem with the video itself, the production wise, I don't care, it's YouTube. YouTube ain't paying me. I'm just trying to put out content for you guys to save you from making the same mistakes I made. So if you're looking at that shiny thing and you're like, man, I want to have it so bad, but honestly, it might not be that great. It might not be better than what you already have. Like for me, I thought going to Sony full frame was it for me. I thought I needed to get rid of all my Fuji gear and go straight to Sony. And I did it, and I noticed what I was missing. I was missing Fuji. Fuji inspired me to shoot. So I got rid of all my Sony gear and went back to Fuji. And then I didn't realize that I liked the full frame look of Sony when it came to my portrait photography. I didn't like it for street photography, and I wasn't really a fan of it just for day-to-day use. But I noticed there were some pros to Sony as well as some cons, and some pros to Fuji as well as cons. So I went back to Fuji and bought all that stuff, and I realized, you know what? When it comes from my portrait photography, I don't really like Fuji like that. I like Fuji more for my street photography and for my day-to-day use. So I went back I got rid of my stuff. I got some of my stuff still for sale. And I went back to Sony for some of it, while I still kept some of my Fuji gear. I kept my XE4. I know I like Fuji for certain things. Like again, street photography. I like being able to use it as a webcam. I like recording my YouTube videos with it. Fuji comes in handy. It's small, APS-C sensor, I don't have a problem with that. But when it comes to video or portrait photography, a lot of people complain about you using Fuji for videos, for cinema. So I picked up the Sony FX3 for that. And it shouldn't matter, but for some people it does. You know, you come out with a camera that they know is cinema or so-called cinema, then they expect something from it. When it comes to portrait photography, I love my A7R3. I'm going back to that setup. Well, I'll go to A7R4, but I'm going back to that setup because what I used to shoot with that, with the A9, it just, something about it, I can't explain it to you, but something about it just stuck out to me compared to my Fuji. And then the other thing too is editing. I use Lightroom and Photoshop. Photoshop really isn't a problem, but when it comes to Lightroom, it's a lot easier to manipulate my stuff in Lightroom from Sony than it is for Fuji. The X-Trans sensor, you already know the worms, you push certain things, it just doesn't work like you want it to. And I never could get into Capture One as much as I tried. I honestly could not. So for me, that's what's going on. So for all you haters out there, I appreciate it, because at least I know you watching my video. You might have gave me a dislike, but you gave me another view. And then you giving me a view might have gave somebody else a view. So it is what it is. As this channel picks up, gains traction, for those of you who have shown love, who have liked, who have subscribed, who have commented, hey, I've commented right back. I can talk cameras and all that other stuff that I put on my videos all day long. So if y'all want to interact in the comment section, please hit me up. I will respond back. As you can see, I can write just as long paragraphs as some of y'all. So some of y'all write really long paragraphs, but it is what it is. I appreciate the love. So hopefully this, for some of you production people who care about YouTube production videos, hopefully this meets your production needs. I look clearer to you. My background is blurry enough and the audio sounds okay. I'm just using a Rode mic until I get me a nicer shotgun mic for my Sony FX3 that I bought. I'm not using the Yeti that I use when I'm streaming. I'm not even using that right now because I don't want no complaining because it's plugged directly into the computer or whatever y'all can complain about. Cool, for those of you who do complain. For those of you who don't, please disregard. This is for the haters. I got me a ring light too, so I can make sure I'm properly exposed with the lighting. Some of y'all don't even know lighting. Y'all don't know butterfly and Rembrandt and all that other stuff. But I'll let y'all act like y'all the professionals. For the rest of you who show love, I love you back. I appreciate it. I don't know what the next video is going to be. We'll see what it is. I don't know. I don't do this every day. It's not my main thing to do. I just get on here when I feel like it's a topic at hand that needs to be talked about. But again, link to my Instagram for my photography down below in the description. Also the link to my TikTok now, since I'm doing that, in the link below. And then check out my other videos. You know, the Leica Q2 versus the X100V. You know, there's a Leica Q2 and I compared it to the X100V. I had an X100V versus the EX4. which I'm shooting on the EX4. I decided to pick that back up and stick with that instead. Got rid of my X100V. And just other stuff, movie reviews. So again, I appreciate y'all to show love. Even if you have a difference of opinion, I still appreciate the civil discourse. For those of you who can't be civil, you know what you can do. And if you dislike it, I don't care. I don't get paid for YouTube, so you're not hurting my feelings. Thank you. Have a good day. Peace.